It's on. I really appreciate that. Thank you. I've been getting quite a few. I've been getting quite a few subscribers from India for whatever reason. What time is it there? Turkey as well? What time is it for you guys? I think my content is more exercise right now. Hey, how's it going, man? Georgia, how are you? 2:30 a.m. over there. It's 5:30 p.m. here. 23, is that 11? 23 is 11:30, isn't it? 11:30 p.m. Okay, I got you. Hey, how does the audio sound? Because I'm trying this mic, and I don't know how well it works. I thought it might take away some of the sound from the bike, from the stationary bike. Okay, just making sure. It's not good? I had an all right day. Oh, really? I thought it might knock down the sound of the bike. I will come to Turkey. Really? That kind of sucks. Well, I tried it anyway. I'm going to try it for a while and maybe on this session, see how it goes. Turkey dinner, that's right, boy. This is an anti-theft device, so nobody steals me. I don't know who that is. Burrito, what's up? How you doing, Perrin? Numero uno. Oh, you're going back on my diet, Perrin? Okay. Sounds healthy. Okay. Let me know how it works out. Yeah, it's a AIRDYNE bike. They have fans in the front. Good. No, it's just like air. All you're doing is, it's not hot. No, it's just resistance. That's it. I tackled a bear. I didn't kill it though. I let it go. I think they do have like a biking game that's attached to a stationary bike. I mean, clearly I don't have it, but I do believe that exists. It's 5:44 p.m. here. I should have music, but I can't do it. Okay. You're starting to sound like a adult. Um, I mean, there's a lot of stories. I guess, again, you just have to ask me some kind of like specific question. I don't know what to say. There's so many things that happen in the gym, you know? Um, Honestly, the idea of like having the best jujitsu or the best wrestling or whatever, it really comes down to who is in the best shape. So there's times where you would say, oh, this guy has the best jujitsu, but you know, somebody else gets in amazing shape and they're better. Um, I guess we all fed off of each other that way. It's not that traumatic, Perrin. Yeah. Well, I'm going to argue that we had an amazing gym. We had 3 to 4 guys in each weight class that were dangerous from each position. So It wasn't about warming up or not, or, you know, sometimes it didn't matter what you knew. You were just you were just somebody's workout for the day. I mean, we had guys in like phenomenal shape. You should look up AIRDYNE bikes. You push with your feet and your hands. I mean, again, some of the submission stuff, for me, I was never really a big jiu-jitsu guy, so like, I like some of the old school, there was like some old school neck cranks and stuff like that that were kind of fun, but I didn't really have anything favorite. No, jiu-jitsu is all about submissions, control. Yeah. I mean, I always tell people, I really enjoyed the workout. I enjoyed being in the gym. I guess fighting was just a bonus so that I could make money and do what I like to do. I just describe it as, you know, I was always an athlete, so I just enjoyed the workouts. That's really what I like the most. Malls, what are you talking about? Well, I definitely miss like meeting, you know, other high level athletes and being able to work out with high level athletes. I think that was great. Oh, you have 3 subscribers on your channel. Like these questions, I don't know, man. I, I don't know. They were all exciting, even in the beginning. I mean, the beginning, like a lot of the fights that nobody will ever see, those were some of the best fights because the sport was so raw. You know, we didn't fight in cages when I started. We fought in rings, like boxing rings. So those were probably some of the more exciting nights because you never knew who knew. You didn't know what the other guy knew. You didn't know who you were fighting. You didn't know anything about him. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the questions. What I'm saying is we have different views. I don't look at it the same way you do. So like when you ask me a question, they're kind of hard to answer. I missed you, Malls. Where have you been? Running the streets? Yeah, I mean, everybody, like when people ask me questions, I just have a different outlook than they do. Or, somebody will be like, oh, it's so exciting. Well, I had other exciting moments. I competed in sports my whole life, so I have other exciting moments as well. I do know David Goggins. If you guys are new, please subscribe. If you guys want to help me out, you will subscribe. So that way I can climb the subscriber mountain. Yeah, I absolutely understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to explain it to you the best way I know how. All I'm saying is that I understand from a fan base or from maybe a guy who just likes, jiu-jitsu competitions and doesn't ever want to do MMA. I mean, everybody has a different outlook. All I'm trying to do is, I guess I try to understand the question and answer it the best way I know how. But yeah, everybody has a different outlook on the sport, so sometimes it's hard to understand where they're coming from, or I just look at things different, I guess. That's all I can say. I cut a lot of weight. This is a interesting story, but when I first got into MMA, I was about 230, 235 pounds, and I had a really hard time just making 205 pounds. So I started doing a lot of cardio, and I was horrible. Like, I couldn't run or jog for more than 10 minutes. It was really hard for me to make 205. And then after meeting some other fighters that were more like my height and body type, I decided to go down to 185, and 185 was brutal. So I'll say making 205 was hard, but after like maybe 2 years in the sport, when I went down to 85, I was doing like 20, 25 pounds. It was hard. It was really hard. I would say no. What I will say is that I think that everybody has their own recipe for cutting weight, and I experimented with a lot of different ways to do it. So by the time I learned how to do it, I was done. Like, I wasn't going to compete anymore, but I think the most important thing is to learn how your body responds to it. Like, how your body responds to cutting weight and how it responds to gaining the weight back, or taking in water again, or taking in food again. I mean, you can always get started now, Justin. No time like the present, bro. I always say start off with things you can do. If it's only 5 to 10 minutes a day, start off with whatever you can do. And then maybe move it to twice a day. And then start upping your time and consistency, and it won't take long. You'll be there. Okay, so like, this would be one of those things that, like, I look at it differently than most people. I'm gonna say that if you want to say it's jitters, that's okay. But yeah, everybody gets nervous. Everybody is like worried, or, you know, you're kind of freaked out a little bit. But I get really excited. So like, again, it's hard to explain, but like, yeah, you get really, really nervous, but it's like excitement at the same time. I appreciate you guys stopping in. Thanks, man. If you guys are new, please subscribe. Hey, you know what? That's really common. You know, it's common for a lot of big time guys. It doesn't matter the level. Some guys are ready to pee their pants, or some of them start crying, or, you know, some of them get really scared and they don't want to go, and that happens all the time. And Jesus loves you as well, brother. That's right. God is training me. Absolutely not. I think once you're out of the UFC, they don't want anything to do with you. Well, thanks. I appreciate the compliments. I knew how good Nate was, and he trained with Matt Lindland and Randy Couture. I knew he was good, but I wasn't like scared of him or nothing. Where he beat me was conditioning. That was the first fight that my conditioning got pushed all the way to its outer limits. I mean, I can't take anything away from the guy. He was really good. I think it was a good matchup, but he was highly conditioned. Another thing that I didn't ever really think about, kind of now that you bring that up, I believe that match was in Utah, and that was the first time I ever had to go to elevation. I had never been in elevation like that. I really wasn't ready for it. But whatever. I mean, it was a big match. He won. There's nothing I can say about it. Ugh. Yeah, so those early days, I mean, and you don't know what you were really up against either. You know, like back then it was so wishy-washy of who your opponents were, what they were doing, and how good they were, or like who they trained with. I mean, you really didn't know what what you were getting yourself into. Can you hear me now? Is it still muted? Yeah, that microphone cut out. It's probably still connected. I tried to turn it off. What I was saying was, I remember in the early days, like when I first initially got into the sport, I mean, it had to be like 2001 or something like that, somewhere around there, 2000, 2001 is when I first started getting into it. And then when I first went to like my first like MMA, another thing is we fought tournaments. So when I went to like my first fight tournament, um, you had no idea who the people were, and people would say things like, "Oh, this guy, he doesn't know too much," and maybe wrestled in high school or something like that. And then you would get there, and it was just like some monster, like some absolute killer. So that was kind of the sport in the early days. I have no idea what that is. I must not have done it because I don't even know what that is, bro. Um, I again, I really don't know. Like in the beginning, we just went to like random places and we did these like little boxing events and like little MMA. And back then it wasn't called MMA, you know, it was like people called it NHB, pit fighting, shudo fighting. Um, there's all these different names. So I don't know, man. I was just doing it. I didn't really. You just kind of went. You signed up, or you know, we knew where the events were going to be when we signed up for it, and we went. That was that. I didn't really keep track of anything. There was no records either, you know. I don't even know how many amateur fights I did have. Like I said, I just signed up for it and showed up and did it and then went home. Yeah, I remember I went to a couple different casinos, but I don't know who owned them. I don't know anything about it. Yeah, I think I went to Kansas City once, but I'll tell you a good one. It's a small town kind of outside of our city, so it's about 45 minutes away. And they had a big bar there, and it was like a heavy metal. They do like heavy metal bands. And we went there and we set up the ring. We didn't do cages back then. So we set up the ring in the parking lot and we did like fights in the parking lot. It was crazy. But that was common. That was like normal. Like people would just go places and set up a ring and do the fights. The weather here is very cold. It is, the weather here, it's 20, I think it's 20 degrees right now. Yeah, so that was normal. You know, like people don't realize like in the very beginning, you know, we would just the ring was on a trailer, and we would go just hook up the trailer and then take it somewhere, set up the ring. We'd have the fights and take the ring down, put it back in the trailer, and we go home. That was normal. Yeah, that's the thing is we weren't getting paid. Like when I started out, nobody was making money. We were just doing it for fun. That's what a lot of people don't realize. But anyways, I got like 35 minutes here. I'm gonna go to another gym. Probably gonna do this cardio boxing thing today. Yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. So I'm signing off. If you guys are new, please subscribe. I might turn the I might turn the live on when I go to the gym though. So stay tuned for that. All right.